Muchibva pano muri kunotarisana namai vari kurwara vasina mishonga. Muchibva pano muri kupinda mudzimba muchitarisa mabhiru emvura, muchitarisa mari kuti hatina chekuti tione kutenga.
Ndimi makaramba kuderera mashoko, zinodiwana musiki, chonaika chaidanika.
On this, the Free Talk. Zimbabwe is urging to make the political space for everybody to be fair and free. Concern has been put on women participation in electoral issues. But the violence that has been seen, the issues around safety of women in participating in electoral issues, and also ensuring that women take an interest in getting into politics has been a major issue. Now, a few daring women have entered into the political space. They have challenged the status quo. And the zebra issue, or the women quota, has also been challenged by other women who say that it is stifling their voice in participating in election. But we are going to follow the journey of one such woman who has dared enter the political space, announced her presence, and made sure that she is a force to reckon. Now, this is the Vice President of the CCC, Lynette Kairenyi Kore, from Kumakomoyo, Kwamtare. She joins us this evening on this, the Free Talk, to discuss her political journey, the space for women in politics, and the Zimbabwean political terrain. Here on this, the Free Talk, in proud partnership with the Frederick Newman Foundation, giving everyone a voice. Here on Heart and Soul TV and radio. Join me shortly after this break as we talk to the Vice President of the CCC, led by Nelson Chamisa. Welcome back to this, the Free Talk, in proud partnership with the Frederick Newman Foundation. With me, your host, as usual, Dara Blessed Mhlanga. And this evening, we are discussing politics, Zimbabwe, violence, and the future with the CCC Vice President, Lynette Kairenyi Kore, on this, the Free Talk. Now, welcome, Mama, and thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Blessing. How are you?
Beautiful. Now, we just want to start from the point of why you joined politics in a place where it's unfashionable for women to be in politics.
Thank you very much, Blessing. I grew up in a family of 6 boys, and I'm the only girl in that family. And my mom from 1980, she told me, and I was also informed by my father, that she has been always in the opposition. During that time, she was pregnant, and she walked more than 6 kilometers to go and vote. And she told me that she voted for Ndabaningi Stole. And later on, she joined Zoom, and from there, she joined the MDC. And after that, she went to the MDC Alliance. Now she's in the CCC. So with that background, I think that's where I was motivated, because she was really a brave woman. So that's how I joined politics in 1999.
Mm-hmm. Now tell us, you know, there's always this vibe that there's violence in Zimbabwe, and politics is not safe for women. You're a woman and you've been there and you've continued from 1999. This is like more than 20 years. How has it been for you as a journey? It was not easy, and it's not easy. And my background was like in 1991, things were not safe for women, but I was one of those who joined politics. But in 2003, that's when I realized that it's not easy to contest in any platform, especially coming from the background of an opposition party. Because I contested in Chikanga, Ward 16, and during the campaign, it was not easy, because that time I contested with someone who was from the CIO department, and you know it was not easy. My children, during that time, I think my last born was close to 2 years, and it was not easy, because, you know, during that time, I remember very well, I was still building my house, and the stoning of the house, the singing, the intimidation, the arrest, it was not easy. Then when I went for like in council, we contested and we won. But if you remember, that's when Ignatius Chombo was the minister by then, and we were recalled from council. And I think from 2005 I was out of council, but 2008 I contested for Chimanimani West. Chimanimani West is a rural constituency, and I was contesting against the engineer Munacho Mtezo. During that time, it was not easy for me, because during my campaign, you know, coming from a background that was not resourced, and Mtezo was very resourced, coming from a ruling party. Life was not easy for me, because I think during the campaign alone, I don't know how many times I was arrested. At one point, I remember very well, I was arrested because of POSA. The other one was because I've said Mugabe is a homosexual president, of which I didn't even say those kind of words. But, you know, I was arrested, and I think after the nomination court, he reported me to the police that I have forged the signatures for my nomination papers. So I was arrested of that charge, and it was not easy, because it was like I was always in court, but on the other side I was supposed to be in the constituents campaigning. But thank God we campaigned and we won the constituents. But after that, he filed a petition that I have rigged the elections, and I went to the High Court. From there, I won the case. I went back, but the issue of the nomination papers was still hanging. So after we won the elections, I think I was charged with the issue of fraud. And we managed to also file another court challenge to say we are appealing against the ruling. And I think within a day or two, I received a letter from Zuma during that time that I was not supposed to attend parliament.
So I think I was withdrawn from Parliament for about 3 weeks. Then from there we challenged. After that, I went back to Parliament again. So the journey is not easy for a woman, and but giving up is not an option. I continued to fight, and from there it was today you are in remand prison, tomorrow you are out. I remember 2012 ndakadyira Christmas in prison, Mutare remand prison, with the charge of saying the issue of Mugabe. But I think after that, ndakato develop that skin to say apana chisiri chino chikisa. It's better for me to continue to fight. So I continued to fight. 2013, I was out of Parliament, and from there, I was the chair of the Assembly of Women. From there, the vice president, and here I am.
I mean, at this point of your prosecution or persecution, what was the family saying? Were you getting enough support from the family as you went through all these things?
To be very honest, I get more than 100% support. My father is late, but my Vanababa, all of them, they supported me from day one, from 1999 up to this day. And my children have been very, very supportive, though they were still young during the time I joined politics. But now I think Vakura, and they are supporting me. But the journey is not easy, you know, because the issue of violence against women, because when you are involved in politics, they think when you go out, they also expect you to mama wachadzoka. But like now, they know very well that sometimes mama pavaenda vadzoki. So the journey is not that easy, but what I know is the ground is not leveled for women, but we must continue to fight.
What is the fuel, you know, that keeps you going, regardless of all this, the arrests, the issue that you actually even did not have resources? Because for many, the issue of resources has been very, very topical.
Yeah. You know, I am in my spirit, I just feel why did I join the politics? The reason why I joined politics, especially the opposition during that time, was the MDC. The issue was about the day-to-day running of my own life and with other people's lives. You realize that in 2007-8, life was not easy for most of the Zimbabweans. And you know, in me was like, tinonyarara kushika kupi, let's fight, let's speak out, this is not right. Because if I get home, I don't have anything to cook for the children. If I get home, it's either I'm up next door to say, Mama, my son is not going to school. He also needs school fees. I've got a girl child. Akaitiswa numbu, arikuda support, and all these problems will come to me and say, what else should we do? Why don't we speak out? Why don't we encourage other women to say, let's go out there, let's try to mobilize and speak out, let's try to mobilize and register so that we also go and vote for the leadership Yatinoda. Because the issue is kunyarara doesn't mean anything, or to say I don't go and vote doesn't mean anything. The issue is we must speak out, and also we must exercise our rights. So in me, I feel good. It's not enough to keep quiet. It's better for me to continue to move until I reach the destination Yandinoda. And what kind of that destination is to see every woman out there, even ari kuda kutengesa msika, awe anotengesa msika, not because she's being forced because of poverty. Nganzwe kuti, if I want to get into business, I must get enough resources, I must feed my children, I must also do what I think is best, just to have a basic life. And if I go out there, especially in the rural areas, I strongly feel good, we are not doing enough. So in me, I feel like it's not enough. Let me continue to push. Yes, I've been arrested, but the reason why I'm being arrested is because I'm raising my voice to say this is not right. We must go further to say enough is enough. So I feel good it's not enough, and I must continue to fight until I feel good it's now better for everybody.
But you think the people who are running Msika, as you say, who are doing so because they are being forced at this moment?
What I feel or what I know is people are forced, because kuenda kunotengesa msika doesn't mean I want to go and do kutakura dengu. The issue is every woman out there feels like if I get money, I want to open my business. And what kind of business? Some would say if I open like a boutique, or if I go into mining, or if I go into any other business, which I feel good, if I sell my commodity, I get some money, I send my children to school, I buy food. But kumusika is not enough. For me, it's not enough. When I used to stay in the rural areas, I feel like vana mama vaita msika was more like supplementing. Baba kumba. But at the moment, it's more like my ndovatowe head of the family, even baba varipo, because baba wakaitwa retrenched, he doesn't have anything to do. So the mother is forced to go kumusika kunotakura dengu to feed the children. So I feel good. It's not that we want to go and sell musika or kutakura dengu, but poverty inondimanikidza kunotakura dengu.
But I want us to look at, in the recent past, we've seen a lot of messages coming from you, and you have been preaching. At one point you said to people that when there's problems, it does not choose which political party you come from. I want us to talk to that message and say, why are you using such messages? Because you have been addressing in rural areas, and this has been a center of your message.
Yeah, my message is very clear, Blessing, because I'm trying to reach out to every person out there to say, if you go to TM doesn't select it to say kanauri ZANU-PF chingwa chiri kuita $1, kanauri ku Triple C chingwa chiri kuita $50. The price of the bread is $50 to everyone. The price of a 10 kg roller meal is the same to say now it's $8, tomorrow is $9, tomorrow is, the next day is $10. So I'm trying to say it doesn't make sense for us to fight when we are suffering. And at some point I even said, if I go to TM and get a loaf of bread for $2, it doesn't pain me sterek than that one who is in ZANU-PF. Because in ZANU-PF, you strongly feel that I voted for the president, Waurukuti president. So you voted for that president because you thought maybe the president was going to make life easier for you. But I'm trying to say, look at what the president is doing. You voted for him. He promised you to say, mwana wako achawa na basa. But at the moment, wakaendesa mwana to MSU or to the University of Zimbabwe. But you expected that son or that child to go and get a job. But at the moment, the job is not there. So it doesn't make sense for you to send your son kunopisa imbaya gogo karenyi when iwewe in your house, you don't even have cooking oil on the table. You don't even have margarine. You don't even have anything in your kitchen. So I'm trying to reach out there to say, we are suffering. Yes, politics aside, but the economy is not favorable to us, especially to the women, because by the end of the day, baba vanoda kudya, and it doesn't mean baba zvavari kuda kudya vauya nemari yacho kuti vadye. But the issue is the money is not there. So I'm trying to reach out to all the women to say, yes, you belong to ZANU-PF, but are you getting enough? Mwana wako ari kuenda kuchikoro here? Is your mother getting the enough pension? Is your husband getting enough money to feed the family? The issue is, the answer is no. So why don't you put it to say, enough is enough. We have tried to vote for ZANU-PF for years, during Mugabe, during Mnangagwa, and at some point I used to say, during Mugabe, chingwa was $1 Right now, with Mnangagwa, a loaf of bread is now going to close to $2. But we are not even getting enough to buy the loaf of bread. So my message is, we just want to be united. We are a family. We belong to the same country. We have got one shopping mall. We go to TM. We go to OK. To everyone. So why don't you open your eyes and say, enough is enough? Why don't we try another person? Because this has failed. So my message is very clear to say, let's not force each other to vote for a party, Yandisingadi. Allow me to exercise my right. Allow me to vote for a president or for a member of parliament or for a councillor. Wandinoda, not because Ndamani Kizwa, because Sabukwati go and vote this one. But the issue is, why don't we use our own senses to say, yes, Sabu can force me to go and vote for a party and this ngadi, but tomorrow I will go to TM and the prices are the same.
Now, I just want to bring you to this aspect where as you speak about voting for the president of your choice. Now, do you think, in all honesty, that people should put their trust in CCC and your party, which you represent? Because it has been criticized by a lot of people for not having constitution, not having structures and stuff like that. Do you think that it is the right option for people to follow?
I strongly feel that we are the game changer. We are the party to follow, because historically we have done what I think is better than the ruling party. And what I know is, I think the Zimbabweans, they know very well that during the time of Baba Morgan Richard Tsvangirai, I think in 2008, 2009, things were not okay. But after Baba Tsvangirai was inaugurated to be the Prime Minister, and my president during that time was also a minister in that same government, and he's done a lot. The president, who was the Prime Minister, Baba Tsvangirai, did what I think was best for the Zimbabweans, because I remember very, very well that life yema Zimbabweans yakachinja, including even the people in the street, chayo, they were managing their own lives. But currently, if you look back, we have gone back to those days, if not worse, because during those days, things were not in the shops. Kwanga kusina ma groceries. People were suffering. People were going to Mozambique to buy for the groceries. But at the moment, the groceries are there, but people doesn't have money to buy the groceries. So things have gone even worse than 2009, 2010. And what I know is during that time, my president was the Minister of IT. And what I know is during that time, Taitenga a SIM card for 250. I remember very well, I bought my line from Econet, and that was 250, equivalent to, that time I think it was 1:1, the US dollar. And he did a lot in terms of the information technology. And I know during that time, Van Vazhinji, they could not even afford to buy my phone. But at the moment, Vanhu benefita out of his wisdom. And what I know is, with his wisdom and with his capacity, he can deliver. And I know he can manage to run this country with the help of the people who also want to make Zimbabwe change. And what I know in CCC, people can criticize to say, they don't have vision, they don't have anything, Havana constitution, Havana structures. Blessing, if my president was not a good president or a good leader, they were not going to talk. They were not going to say anything about him, because even ku shokora Mwari, Satan harwisi pasina a vision. So what I know is he is a threat to the party iripo, inoti ruling party, the ZANU-PF. And give him a chance, I know Zimbabwe will have what I think will be the best for every Zimbabwean. So for people to say in Triple C, hakuna zviriko, havana constitution, havana ma structures, dai tisina ma structures tiri pano here. People are out there, and tine mwedzi mishoma shoma. We have not even reached a year, but from the by-elections, out of 28, we scored 19. Out of more than 100 and something for the councillors, we scored. So I strongly feel that we are the alternative. We are the alternative because people gave us the chance and people believed in us. They voted for Triple C by-elections and we won. Even wasna confidence in us, we were not going to win these elections. But because of the confidence.
Some say, you know, your party is just Chamisa. Is that correct?
It's not Chamisa. It's not Chamisa. Chamisa is the head. And hakuna msoro usina mtsipa. Hakuna msoro usina munhu anonzi ane msoro chete. Munhu ane msoro, ane mtsipa, ane maoko, ane makumbo. So our president is the driver. And we are part of that bus. So he's just the steering, he's on the steering, he's driving the bus to the State House. And I strongly feel that it's not Chamisa alone, it's Chamisa and the citizens. The reason why Chamisa is there is because the citizens have got confidence in him. If he was Chamisa alone, people were not going to vote for him because during the by-elections, Chamisa was not contesting. The MPs were contesting, and Chamisa is the president. People voted for that party because they believe in Chamisa, they believe in the citizens. So the party is not Chamisa alone. The party is Chamisa and the people.
As a vice president backing Nelson Chamisa, when people look at you, what are they supposed to expect from Lynette Kairenyi-Kore as a member of the CCC?
They are supposed to expect, they are supposed to see Lynette Kairenyi-Kore supporting the visionary, supporting the president, so that we achieve our goal and our mission. Because him as the president, he cannot do it alone. So I'm there to support the president, to give him what I think is best for us to run this country. So I am the vice president, and it's not that in the coming election, I will still remain as the vice president or what, but people will choose the leadership to say, we want this one to play number 9, this one to play number 7, this one to play number 12. So the issue is, I will give him support as Lynette Kairenyi, and I have got more than 100% to support him because I have realized that among everyone at the moment, Advocate Nelson Chamisa has got the vision. And to me, I strongly feel that at the moment, whether people like it or not, ndiye Parisian anokwanisa kudrive the bus to the State House.
I want us to shift a bit and look at your recall from Parliament. Others were recalled, and they had an opportunity to go back and primary elections. But because you were in proportional representation, you did not have that opportunity because the political party then just appoints. Do you think that proportional representation empowers women to have a voice in politics?
If you check my record, Blessing, I'm one person who criticized the issue of the proportional from 2013. I was opposed to the issue of the proportional because I thought maybe if you want to empower women, why don't we go to the issue of the 50-50? Why don't we go to the issue of gender equality and also the issue of gender mainstreaming? What I was opposing was like when we formed the group 20, where we were having these women from parliament to go and lobby to the issue of the constitutional making process. I was thinking, kuti isusu as women, why don't we just advocate for a 50-50? Because I strongly believe that women are capable. And what I know is women are born leaders, most of them. They feel that kuwa mtungamiri is more like you are representing people. It's not like you are just doing the wega, no. So I feel kuti madzimai as mothers, they've got this motherly touch to say, if you are building a nation, we must not be corrupt. We must try by all means to be accountable. We must try by all means to be transparent. So I feel kuti we cannot just give them in pieces. Why don't we also trust them? Why don't we allow them to move side by side, never rume? Because inini I feel kuti murume nemukadzi Mwari akavasika, yes, biblically it's not my mbatsiri. But what I think is, in terms of building the nation, Baba Vavaki Nika Varivega, he also needs a woman on the side to say, Babane Oko, Maine Oko. So I don't believe kuti, the issue of the proportional representation, Batsira Madzimai, to raise their voices. No, they are not. Firstly, if you check the issue of 50-50, it has created enmity among women. If you go into these political parties, the way these women are selected is not even good enough to say very transparent or to say very favorable. It's more like those in the presidium will benefit, those in the lower structures will not benefit. If you check even the young women in terms of promoting these young women, they are not being promoted. Why? Because if you check in the presidium, if you go into the politburo, it's not the young women. If you check in the standing committee, tisu, tirikukura. So I strongly feel good. The ground is not level for the young women. It's more like we are promoting the same women from 1980. Go to ZANU-PF, check the records. 2013, who are those beneficiaries for the proportional representation? Check. Most of them, vakatiza their seats, vakauya to the proportional representation. Or, vakajiwa primary elections, and they went there and grabbed the proportional representation. If you check, most of them, they are in the executive, to say at Politburo, or the other one, the DCCs, or what I don't know, committee. The Central Committee, yes. If you check in our party, it will be those in the National Executive, or those in the Provincial Executive, or those in the Standing Committee. So I strongly feel that it's not good enough for the women. You go for the primary elections, Blessing. You ask the women to say, Madzimai, why don't we go and also contest in those first past the post? It's more like most of the women have been diverted to go to the 60 seats. But they are also failing to realize that the 60 seats belongs to everyone, including ZANU-PF, including those other small parties. So, to me, it's more like disadvantaging women. It's disadvantaging, and what I know is if you go for the other parties, why not they go for the primaries, voter in their provinces and the like, but check the records. Most of them, they benefited in 2013, they benefited in 2018, check in 2023, you see them back. The reason why this clause was debated in the Politburo, then in the cabinet, and passed was, check those vanamai were in the presidium, yes, ZANU-PF. They know very well that if they go out there, they cannot go for the first past the post. So it's better for them to go and take the seat for the proportional representation. So when we started the issue of this proportional representation, it was more like we want to empower women. But we cannot say we are empowering women when we continue to empower Karenyi in 2013, Karenyi 2018, Karenyi 2023. Where is the issue of empowerment? The empowerment is not there. So I strongly feel that women are being disadvantaged with those who are not in the presidium. So I strongly feel that if we really love our nation and if we want to encourage women to participate in the decision-making processes, it's better for us to go on the issue of 50-50 or the issue of a quota, where I strongly feel that maybe we have the city to say these are the seats for women only. So if ZANU-PF brings in Budiriro mukadzi, then Triple C yoisa futi mukadzi, the other party yoisa futi mukadzi, so that those women will contest each other rather than having these 60 seats. To me, it's more like a burden even to the nation. It's a burden because look, in 2005, then 2008, 2013, it's more like the parliament irikuramba ichingokura. Why are we increasing more members of parliament in parliament when our budget is not even enough to cater for all these members of parliament? So I think the best way is to go and empower women. The constitution is very clear that we are equal. So let's go to the 210 seats and say 105 for women, 105 for men. Rather than us having another 60 to make it more than 300 and something members of parliament, including the Senate. To me, it doesn't make sense.
Speaking to leading human rights lawyer Beatrice Mtetwa, she said that at most women who are put on these proportional representation seats are not even chosen by merit. What is your view of that?
Yeah, I think it's more like some are chosen with merit and some are not, because if you go to the other parties, they say they go for primaries. And kuma primaries doesn't mean muna anonzi anogona or agoni. It's more like the more popular you are, the more votes you get. So I strongly feel that, for example, if we were serious enough, maybe we could say we also want to encourage, especially those in the middle class, because most of those people, they feel good if they join kuma terrace kunoko, their businesses are exposed. Vamwe vanopisirwa, vamwe vanorambidzwa to get into politics. So I thought maybe if we wanted like more like technical people to say out of those 60, why don't we go to say could disability total a share yakat to the middle class women, varima technocrats, vanofana kutibatsira in terms of women empowerment, toisa this share to the politicians, then we could say yes, we are now forming a united force to fight for the gender equality. But at the moment, it's not like that. It's more like, are you favor time yo ndiani, or are you close to the presidium during that time ndiani? So by the end of the day, if you check, if you go and ask this women organization, I think they've got a survey which they did last time, that was in 2019 or 2018, they did a survey, and I think that survey was not good enough for the women, which I strongly feel that it's good for us to go for the issue of gender equality than for us to continue to push for the 60 seats, because it's more like if you check, it's more like we are given as a token. It doesn't have that value. Even if you want to go and participate in your constituents, it's more like you are fighting with the sitting member of parliament. So to me, and where those women and get what we think is best for the other women. So it's more like creator conflict among the sitting members of parliament and this proportional representation. Because even if you have a program, you want to go and do it to a sitting member of parliament, you also want to come and contest in the next election. So it's more like people fighting.
So what, those who are pushing for this, what is their motive in your view?
I strongly feel that they just want to stay in power. They just want to stay in power because they are not even fighting for the other seats to say, let's go for 50-50. Because if you go and check the statistics, Blessing, it's more like the number of women in parliament, Wakaita go for the proportion of, Wakaita go for the first past the post, the percentage is going down each and every election. Why? Because most of the women are more diverted to the issue of the proportional representation. If you check, most of them, they want number 1, number 2, and number 3. They don't want to go number 4, number 5, number 6 because they know chances are not good for them. So they will be fighting to go to the first, second, and third number. So I think when Warikuita push for it, they just want to continue to empower themselves. Why is it that in those clauses for the first past the post or for the proportional, especially that clause for the proportional, I thought maybe they were going to put a clause to say, if you benefit for first term or second term, then you are automatically out because you've already benefited. But the clause is open. You can stay in proportional representation kushika watu ofazako. To me, which is not good. I feel if we are serious and if you talk of gender equality and if we talk of the serious inclusion of women in decision-making processes, then we must put a clause to say, if Karenyev benefits first and second term, she must go out. If she wants to continue her journey into politics, then she must go and grab a seat for first past the post, so that we also encourage these young women to also come and get a chance to get in the proportional representation. But the issue of us continuing to support the proportional representation, Ichingo supported the same crop of women. To me, I beg to differ. If we are serious, why don't we say, if you benefit twice, then you must go and claim a seat? You cannot continue to benefit with that same clause, because at the moment, they have extended it with another 10 years, which means after 10 years, they are also going to push for it. So it means we are not serious. And why do we continue to put Zhigamba on the Constitution? Why do we continue to put clauses in those amendments? So I feel kuti vanhu varungoda kubenefita iwo, not to encourage these young women and also to encourage other women to also come and take spaces.
Now I want, how did you feel when you were recalled from Parliament?
If you were in Parliament that day, ndakatoseka, because I knew it was coming, because some would come to us and say, if you want to stay in Parliament, look, hey, unewana kuchikoro. Some would say, hey, unengoskacha benefit, ma benefits are Parliament. Why don't you join these other guys? Why don't you join the MDCT? And to me, it was like, I cannot join a party and this sinaku ita vote for. I did not vote for MDCT. I voted for MDC Alliance. So if it means not zingwa because I'm being principled, let it be. So in Nini, I did not feel even demotivated. It was more like a game to me. It was more like I'm with the people and I have chose kurambandi nevanu. It's better for me to go out there, stay with the people, because when they voted for me, they voted for the MDC Alliance. Yaitungamirwana advocate Nelson Chamisa. And when they went to the ballot box, they were voting MDC Alliance, Yailidwana advocate Nelson Chamisa. So I cannot be forced to go and support MDCT, which I didn't even vote for. So Pandaka Zingwa, to me, it was like a bonus. And Ndakati never navangu, you know what? Even if I go to church or even if I go to TM, it's better for people to say, this is a principled woman. Look at her. She decided to stay with the people rather than those vafunga kurarama vasina vanhu vachiraramira ma-benefits, because joining politics was more like I want to achieve something which I was trying to achieve was not a car, was not a salary, was not any benefit from parliament, because when I joined the politics I never thought I would go to parliament. Handina kutomboita a dream to say mangwana ndichamuka nda member of parliament. So I said to myself, let them recall me. I go back, and it's not my first time to be recalled. I was recalled during the Chombo time, and handina kutengesa ndakaramba ndakamira neparty yangu during that time yachitungamirwa na President Tsvangirai. So with this one I said to myself, rebellion doesn't pay. And I'm a Christian. Ndoziva kuti kupanduka chaiko chaiko even in the Bible hakuna benefit. Normally the end result is unozosuffer, because people will be crying, vanhu vanochema. And I said to myself, I better go home and stay, and I will stay with the people, because vanhu ava ndo vakaita kuti ndouye kuparliament, so I cannot disappoint them. So handina kana kumboita stress kana depression, handina, because inini life yakangoiramba iri the same. Nothing has changed. I'm still the same Maiti Nashe. I'm still the same Lynette Karenyi. Nothing has changed. So kuitwa record to me was more like a benefit, because ndakashowa vanhu kuti I'm not there for money, I'm not there for kupanduka, I'm there for the people. Kana ndisati nda-achieve what I think is best for the people of Zimbabwe, it's better for me to be recalled. And what I know is one day zvichangonaka. And here we are. People have also realized kuti vakatora the wrong path, and I'm in the right track, and I'll continue to pursue, because that's where I think is best for me to stay.
At that time, there were stories and there was talk that you were going to join Douglas Monzora, the MDCT and Douglas Monzora. Now, how did you take that, and how did it affect you?
You know, when people talk, you feel kuti, why are they saying that? And with that talk of Douglas Monzora, it was not a surprise to me, because we come from the same province, and province yedu Manicaland ndoko aibva, and he was the Secretary General MDC Alliance during that time, before Congress and after Congress. Takaita Honorable Wende is our Secretary General, and I think Musoro Mevanu, people just thought that if they come from the same province, obviously Karenyi will support Monzora. But I told him very, very clear. But what I know is people doesn't believe that. But to be very honest with you, Douglas Monzora never approached me to say, Maiti Nashe, why don't we go to MDCT? He didn't do that. It was a surprise to see Vakomichi in the newspaper and on television. And I even asked him, why have you decided to go that way? Why don't you go to Harvest House? And why don't you come and we can talk about it? And they decided to do whatever they did. But on my side, it was like people were accusing me, people were saying, Karenyi will go. And I said to myself, I don't even have to speak about it. People will see. Because here I am, if I am for MDCT, people will see. If I am for MDC Alliance during that time, people will also see. And I think I played my part. I supported my president. And here I am. I'm a principled woman, Blessing, because Pandaka Dzingwa mna 2005 and Chinja. And 1 October 2020, I was recalled, and nothing changed. Ndakangoramba ndiri Maiti Nashe sezvandingori. And I think by now, vanhu vakuziva kuti who am I? Who is Lynette Karenyi?
I just want to put you on the spot a bit. The people who have spoken about women in politics in a negative manner, and they've said that women in politics survive based on prostitution or dating top leaders in the party. Now, does this happen?
To be very honest with you, inini on my side, I will speak pachezvangu, not with others. What I know is, if you have got a vision, and if you have got your goal, there is nothing in politics, if you go out there and sleep with varume, ndokuti uwane zvigaro. I don't believe that. Because what I know is, if you do that, you become cheap. People will not believe in you because they know that you are weak. So for you to be a successful politician, or for you to achieve chaurukuda, you just have to be yourself. If you believe, I want to be a secretary general, or I want to be a councillor, or I want to be a politician, or I want to be a member of parliament, what I know is, if you go out there, work with the people, be transparent, be accountable, just be with them, they will believe in you. If you are a principled person, people will love you, people will support you, people will know that this is a true politician. So if you check, I think I had this conversation with one of the organizations where I was trying to mentor Vaskana Vadiki. I was very clear to say, Vaskana, if you want to succeed in politics, just be yourself. Don't be used. Be yourself, be focused, you will win. Hakuna anonzi iye akashandiswa within politics unoenda kumsoro, no. You will not even get it, because people will know that if you go kwari, we can use it. So if you become a politician, I think regates and the end and sleep out. To be very honest, you will realize later could have been used for nothing. Because variko vanonzwaro, I remember very, very well kuti there's another organization yakabudisa this survey yandaikudza. In that survey they were saying, some of the women were saying, takashandisiwa in both political parties. Vazhinji vaitaura in that survey, takashandisiwa, but hatina kuzobenefita what we thought we were going to benefit. So I think it's a lesson learned for those vaifungidzira kuti maybe if you go out there and do those things, you will benefit. So honestly, blessing, azvidaro, just be yourself, know what you want, be principled, support your party, support the vision, you will succeed without even going those side.
Now I want to bring you to the latest issues that are happening around the political space. Just recently we've seen Job Scholar being arrested and being caught, and there's these tempers that are rising in the political space. What is your reading into this political violence and tempers that are rising?
My reading is like they just want to install fear. And fear ikabata munu. Obviously, some would say, let me just stay indoors. But what I know, and from my experience at the moment, if we continue to keep quiet, it's more like also violence. Nasuka roho, ane murume mangwana ongoramba wakanyarara, mangwana ongoramba wakanyarara, unofa, you better speak out. So what I want to say to everyone out there is kunyarara akubatsiri. And what I know is they cannot sustain violence. Avanga kwanisi kuramba vachirova vanhu mu street. People will say enough is enough. And we don't encourage people to get into violence. We encourage people to love each other. We encourage people kutitiwe a peace-loving country. It doesn't make sense for us kutinas tamuka more blessing atorwa aurawa achekwa mangwana tiripano Job Scholar asungwa. And if you read those stories, it's more like today nasi zvonzi boyfriend, tomorrow mangwana zvotaurwa yaimwe nyaya. It's more like just kungoisa fear kuvanhu. But what I want to encourage people out there is azvina kwazvinosvika. People must continue to fight. People must continue to believe what they believe in, and we don't encourage violence. Vanhu ngavangova peaceful, and let's continue to speak and we can speak nemiromo yedu to say enough is enough. So they just want to make sure kuti people vanotanga kuti mati kwatiri kuenda ko election tinozoikunda here, mati kwatiri kuenda ko zvinozowa zvakadai, or maybe it's going to be worse. No, we are going there, and what I know is 2023 is around the corner. Whether they like it or not, people will come out and vote in their numbers. I know very well pataka pedzisira up. Take for example in Chitungwiza, our former mayor, kwakaita violence isingaiti in that ward, but they won resoundingly. So people must be encouraged kuti ndozva zvinoita, especially kana vanhu vaita overstay in power. Ndozva zvinoita vanomboita violence, but zizarina nyanga. Let's continue to fight. We'll get there.
You have survived under Robert Gabriel Mugabe's regime, and now we have Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa's regime. Putting them on the scale, which one do you think was more, susceptible, accepting criticism and creating a democratic space?
What I know is mwana wenyoka inyoka. In pa November takati kuda life ichaita zviri nani after vamugabe. But if you go mu street, people are saying time ya Mugabe zvinenge zvanga zvitori nani. So the issue is, it's not about an individual, but it is about the system. If ZANU-PF today yobvisa Mnangagwa and put Chimuti, life will still remain like that. The values are still the same, the principles are still the same, the issue of violence is still the same, the issue of torture, the issue of rape cases anoitwa in Zimbabwe azvichinji. So the issue is not about any individual, the issue is about the system. So whether wachinja nasi uchisa mumwe, it's more like just dropping kungotora a bottle of whiskey, morasira whiskey pasi, moisa mvura, movara, moti this is whiskey. It's still the same. So ZANU-PF will never change. Even if you change a person, it will remain ZANU-PF. So that's why people are now starting to say, during Mugabe, zvinenge zvanga zviri nani. Because vanhu varwadziwa. I bet you, nasi chero tikabvisa vaMnangagwa, vakaisa vamwe, people will still say, paya zvinenge zvanga zviri nani. So the issue is not about any individual. The issue is about the system. So the system is the same. So life will not change because varipo. Inongo chinja chete when we change the government, when we put an alternative. That's when we will say, shinenge zvakunzi zvachinja. But at the moment, as we change, if you meet those in the ZANU-PF structures, vamwe vari in parliament, they will start to say, vakomana, during time ya vatsvangira zvinhu zvakatembenge zviri nani, vakomana waya vakadzi vasikana samai kupusha, I think nemukomana zvinoita. So it's not about kuchinja vanhu, it's about changing the system.
But as you speak about that, do you think it's actually even possible to change the system? I mean, the second dispensation is talking about they've done roads, they've been opening, boreholes, and they've also been opening, a lot of other things. And they're telling people that things are better.
Things are not better, Blessing. Things are not better.
But the road, the Masvingo road is better. The Bulawayo road is better.
Do we eat roads? Road ikagadzirwa, Blessing. Does it mean my son Tinashe will go to university for Mahara? The road will be like kubva kuMasvingo to Harare. And if I can ask you, Kuti, how many years road yoyoyo yakadaro? Let me give you one typical example. I think I always speak about the issue of Kuti. When we get in government, the government of Nelson Chamisa is going to have a policy from grade 1 to grade 7, free education. Recently, the vaMnangagwa vari kutotaura vachiti izvo in 2023 vakati next year we will have grade 1 to grade 7 free education. But I'm asking Blessing to say, why is he saying next year when we have got this year? We have got the next term. Why don't we change there? So why do we want to continue kungopiwa ma promises, but those promises are not benefiting us? So the issue is the road from Masvingo to Harare. Yes, the road is there, but zvinobatsira ani nani. Tese taifighta kuti toda kuti road igadzirwe, and yatora so many years. Handei patogeti rinore pano panonzi pachi ipo muchibva muHarare muchienda kuNorton pambudzi apo. That tollgate, go and assess. Hapana infrastructure inorakidza kuti there is a tollgate. Why? Things are not good. If you go even kumamisha kwacho, the roads are dilapidated. You go to Chivi, the roads are bad. You go to Chiredzi North. The last time I was in Chiredzi North, Chiredzi East, the roads are bad. Panoda kufambwa 25 kilometers, you go for 1 hour 30 minutes. The roads are bad, and these roads dziri kutaurwa kunzi idzo dzidzi dziri kugadzirwa kungotaura zvishomanani, but the deep roads variko kumaruzeva, and the roads are so bad. So the issue is, yes, they are trying, but we are doing A, B, C, D, but to me, honestly, life has not changed. The same Linet Karenyi is still suffering. If you go in my house, property rimo yakatengwa kugumisira 2013. People are not even affording to buy even a bed chair yekurarira nevana. People are not even affording to buy even bacon rekudya nemwana wake mumba. If you ask even vanhu vari mutauni vari kumaruzeva vese kutori nemwana ane up to 5 years who doesn't even know kuti bacon chi. So life has not changed. Yes, they can try to say things are changing, but to an ordinary citizen, Blessing, an ordinary citizen, hapana chiri kuchinja. Nothing is changing. It's more like everyone is now a businesswoman, everyone is now a businessman, but nothing has changed. It's from hand to mouth. Munhu akapinda mustreet kunotengesa, achibva ikoko ari kunotenga kamafuta kadiki kekudya nevana. We used to get into TM naturally, tichipusha to buy for the groceries. But these days, guess what? Takutenga kuti sugar yapera. We buy that 2 kg of sugar. Tozoona futi kana yapera. Which means life is not changing. You go to the rural constituencies. Vana vakaendeswa kuchikoro namai vachitengesa mbudzi. Arora. He doesn't even have money to pay lobola. He doesn't even have a job. So things are not right. Things are not okay, especially for an ordinary citizen. But for those vari hao in the presidium, I can say, yes, vari kurarama zvakanaka, because if they get sick, they will fly to China, they will fly to Singapore. But guess, isusu tikarwara, we go to Parirenyatwa. No medicine, nothing is there. If you go kumamisha, we have now gone back to that era. You go to bring a bucket when you are now going for a delivery. Bring a bucket. Those who are going for the operation, if you go to Sakuba Hospital at this moment, a person is asked kuya nezvese zvekubaiwa ma injections you buy, everything you buy for you to be operated to have a child. So things are not changing. Things are getting worse and worse each and every day. You cannot say things are changing when you know very well that a salary of a teacher doesn't even afford that teacher to buy a chingwa kumba kwake for January to December. So things are not changing. People are going back kunyedze kuva varombo chaivo chaivo. Yeah.
And how do we move Zimbabwe from the place that you're talking about to a better place?
We just need to change the government. We just need to go and register and vote.
What assurances do we have that if people of Zimbabwe vote CCC, you are not also going to start the primitive accumulation of wealth that you blame those in ZANU-PF of doing?
One of our values is atiiti issue yekuti munhu, if you are voted in, you have to stay in power until you get old and say wachembera chibva wazobuda. No. And if you check, our values and principles are very, very clear. We don't tolerate corruption. We don't tolerate the issue of accumulative of wealth. If you check in our books, we are very clear to say, if Karenyi is voted for today, tirukuda kuziva kuti amborinei, anei kumba kwake. And if you see you work ngoita this accumulative of wealth, we must investigate and say, where are you getting the money from? Where are you getting this money from? Because vanu, it's like nasi ndangomuka ndatwe MP, ndatwe nema businesses, ndatwe nema mansion and the like. Where are you getting the money from? So isusu, we are simply saying, yes, let's go out and vote Triple C. If you see that Triple C high school performer, vote them out. Vote them out and also try an alternative. Because the issue is, kana utungamiri watadza, hamungangosi uripo. And we believe good, if we are getting it wrong, we also expect people to come and also give ideas. We also expect people to say, this is wrong, this is right. We cannot continue to watch zvinhu zvichiitwa tichinyarara, because the reason why we are at this moment in time nehondo nezvatiri kutamburana nazvo izvi is because vanhu havatauri chokwadi. It's because they don't speak the truth. It's because vanongohwandisira zvinhu under the carpet. So as Triple C, we are saying, vote for Triple C. If you strongly feel good, you have got something feel good, I can give it to the government. Ndinazvo, I've got this mind, I've got all these issues, good ndipe advice to the government. The door is open. Come, let's try to also invest. Let's try to share ideas. Let's try and talk and say, why don't we get to this route? Why don't we engage this? Why don't we engage these partners? So the issue is Charachimaj Swanyinda will include everyone. That's why we are saying this is a citizen issue. Muma citizens, mune all the technocrats, mune vanhu vese, vanogona IT, vanogona zvipatara, vanogona zvipi nezvipi. So if we bring everyone together, totsvaga vane unyanzvi hwokuita basa, I know very well who will deliver. The issue is, you cannot just say, my Tinashe, go and lead as a minister of health, when you know very well, blessing, that and to receive kuti even shongocho unonzichi. You cannot even ask me chienda unoita minister wakati, when you know very well that I'm not invested in those kind of things. So with this citizen issue, we are saying everyone is invited with your mind and with your technocrats and everybody to batsirana. But if you strongly feel good, you are getting it wrong, the door is very open. People can also vote for people of Vanodakuti. These ones, I think they can try. So they must try Triple C, because we are an alternative.
Now, as we come to close, I'd want us to talk about this issue where women have been accused of being their own worst enemies. We saw the murder, the gruesome and heartless murder of More Blessing Ali. We saw and we still see, you know, what has been happening to Netsai Marola, Cecilia Chimbiri, and Joanna Momombe, and we have looked at it and seen that even women in ZANU-PF Presidium are actually, you know, at the center of being silent and maybe at some point supporting these attacks on women. You know, what is your view? What is your message? You know, especially, maybe we can start with More Blessing Ali. What is your message, and then go to what many have now known as the MDC trio?
I will start with the issue of More Blessing. And as a woman, it's more like we have lost a breadwinner, we have lost a mother, we have lost an aunt. And More Blessing ndiye angari muridzi wewana. And being a woman, if you get this kind of information, yekuti unoona some of the women very silent, like kunga zvingori normal that someone was murdered. Where's a woman? I'm not saying varume ndovanofana kuitwa murdered, no. I'm saying isusu as women, umwe wedu akauraiwa, we are supposed to speak out. Because today is more blessing, but tomorrow is May. So the issue is, we must speak out. It doesn't make sense for people in the ruling party to keep quiet. Because atofa, we are not even going to say, achamuka mangwana tichimuona, to look after her family, to look after her children. The issue is, we have already lost her, atofa. And what are we supposed to do as women? We are supposed to unite and speak against this violence and speak against these murders. Because azvishandi to say more blessing atofa because I belong to the ruling party, I must keep quiet. The issue is, we must not even politicize the issue of kumedwa kwa more blessing. We must speak with one voice and say, we speak against the issue of murder. We speak against the issue of the death of more blessing. And we must demand justice. Who was behind it? We cannot believe that guy Arkunzindia more blessing, he was alone. To me, he was not alone. It means there were more than one people who murdered her. So who are those people? They must be brought to book. They must be charged, not with the lesser sentence. Because what I know is, in Zimbabwe, it's more like selective application of law. Today is arrested, tomorrow maybe we can hear it out to Momo Street. But if we unite as women and speak against it, then I go to the issue of Wana Joanna and Wana Netsai. We are mothers. We are mothers. And what I want to say is, we encourage these young women to also join politics. Because if you check the way we were groomed and the way Yata and I, we are in the 21st century. Manage technology. They know better than us. So we want them, we want their ideas, we want their journey with inge ichitwa mentor. We must mentor them, we must give them encouragement. But at the moment, honestly, it's more like they are getting a support from the opposition side. But the ruling party is quiet about it. So I encourage most of the women out there, even those celebrities. I was saying to myself, we have got Wakawanda, I don't want to mention them by names, but what I want to say to them is, we are mothers. Some are not yet mothers, but they are also girls. But if we keep quiet, today is Joanna, today is Netsai, today is Cecilia. But tomorrow it's your child. Tomorrow it's your sister. Tomorrow it's your aunt. So why don't we speak out? Because keeping quiet, to me, is more like also violence. You better speak out. And kungozvitaura hazvirevi kuti waita mhosva. To say, I'm speaking against the issue of violence. I'm speaking against the issue of torture. I'm speaking against the issue of rape. It means you are saying, enough is enough. This must stop. We want a Zimbabwe iri peaceful, a Zimbabwe inoita support women, so that these young women will also come and take after us. So the issue is, if we don't speak out, then the young women out there will stay indoors. They will not come and participate. But the issue is, let's encourage women to participate in politics. But on the other side, we are not also supporting these women into the issue of violence. Why don't we support them? Why don't we also criticize those who are involved and say, enough is enough? Because they are also women. They are women, and they've got their rights to participate or to join any political party. So let's not try to support Jirikuku ne Jiriuko. No, let's support women. Let's also try to safeguard their rights, because Vakadzi says so. And if we doesn't speak about violence, then people will continue. Chingourawa, vana vachingorepwa, vana vachingouraiwa. So let's speak out. And as mothers, let's speak out. If we continue to keep quiet, then mangwana chinouya kumba kwako. So I just want to say kumadzimai vari out there, giving up is not an option. Let's continue to fight for our rights. Let's continue to fight, and if we continue to fight, one day I know zvinoita zvakanaka.
But is it possible, on a lighter note, to be a politician and not be able to sing? Because I say so, you have an amazing singing voice.
You can be a politician and you can be also a singer. I used to sing ku church, dichiri kuma youth, and I enjoy singing. So I try to sing, but I'm not a perfect singer though. I try. You have your signature song that you always sing, especially at rallies. I mean, would you be as kind to bless, I know it's a political song, I know it supports Nelson Chamisa, but today is your opportunity on the platform, the Free Talk with us on Heart and Soul TV and radio with me. But your song, I think it's Chamisa Kakata or something like. If you can bless us with that. No, in this song, the journey is not easy, and the tichiri vana vadiki taita tug of war. So for you to win the tug of war, waifana unyatsoita simba kuti unyatsodhonza zvakanaka. So ndo the background of it. Chamisa kakata, chamisa dhonza, chamisa kakata, chamisa dhonza, chamisa we dhonza.
Amazing. Thank you so very much, Madam Vice President of the CCC, Lynette Kairenyi-Kore, for being with us here on the Free Talk in proud partnership with the Frederick Newman Foundation. But as I normally do with all my guests, this is the last part. I allow you to deliver a message from your heart to the people of Zimbabwe. I ask you to look into the people of Zimbabwe and give them a message of your choice at any point not related to the interview, just what you feel in your heart.
Blessing, I will speak from my heart. I love Zimbabwe, and I know people out there, they also love Zimbabwe. And we have got people out there in the diaspora. They also want to come back home. We have got relatives out there. They love their country. And I just want to encourage someone out there to say, this is the Zimbabwe, and is this the Zimbabwe we want? I think let's try by all means to reflect and say, why don't we love each other? Because even in the Bible, it's very clear. Kuti tingaita zvose tikashaiwa rudo, zvinoita zvisina basa, zvinoita zvinhu zvisina maturo. So to people out there, let's love our country. Let's not force each other kuvotera bato raasingadi. Why don't we encourage people to say, if you love ZANU-PF from your heart, vote for ZANU-PF. If you love the CCC from your heart, vote the CCC. The issue here is, let's not force people. I know out there, especially in the rural areas, vanhu vazhinji vanoitwa assisted during the voting period. But come 2023, we want everyone to vote freely. Vanhu musatyityidzirwa, vanhu voterai bato ramunoda pasina kutyityidzirwa. And I want to say out there kumasabhuku, I also come from a background yana sekuru vangu madzishe. And I always say to them, vana sekuru, the issue is not about you supporting a certain party, muchirwadzisa imwe party. Imimi muri vana baba, vanofana kuita chengawo senangana isina modzi. Tiri vana venyu mese, ve-NDC, ve-ZANU-PF, ve-CCC, nevamwe vachada kusimuka kuti vazoenda kusarudzo. So ndinongokuvakurudzira masabhuku edu kuti aiwa tinokuremerekedzai, asi mushande wenyu mese. Mune varoi, mune mbavha, mune vanoda kunamata, mune vasingadi kunamata. And my last words is, ngatitye Mwari, tikatya Mwari hatirovani, tikatya Mwari hatitukani. So let's go out there, let's encourage each other, our relatives, our children to go and register in their numbers. Come 2023, I will assure you, Advocate Nelson Chamisa will deliver change in Zimbabwe. I thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Madam Lynette Kaireni. Now, this was the Free Talk and the words of peace, love, and the words of building this nation, this beautiful nation that we all belong to, that we all want to see prosper. Now, every Zimbabwean abroad or even staying in Zimbabwe would certainly wish to see this country become a better place. Because if it does not perform well, it is the future of our children and their children that is buried in the sense of pain and sense of misery. There is no benefit in this country not performing well economically, politically, or socially. Now, we share these words and kind words. The Vice President of the CCC, Lynette Kaireni Kore. And this is me, your host, here on the Free Talk in proud partnership with the Frederick Newman Foundation on Heart and Soul TV and Radio. I'm your host, Dara Blessed Mklang. And just to borrow from my mom, Lynette Kaireni Kore, Zimbabwe o kakata, Zimbabwe o donza, Zimbabwe kakata, donza. We can pull together. This is our country. Now, thank you very much for joining us on this, the Free Talk on Heart and Soul TV and Radio, and thank you for choosing us as your station of choice. Please don't forget to like our pages on Facebook, Heart and Soul TV Zim, on our Twitter handle, HSTV News, and on our YouTube page, HSTV Zim. This is the alternative. This is the voice for everyone to be heard. Now, thank you very much, Mama.
Chuna eka satanyika